I wanted to show that I really had love for Puffy and he had love for me, and I just wanted to show people that it wasn't all what it was trumped up to be. You know, they made it like it was more than what it actually was. We actually love it.
Hey everyone, it's your favorite gossip girl back with some juicy news. If there was someone who was confident enough to expose Diddy with his shady behavior and worrying parties, then Snoop Dogg is our guy for that. Considering that he is as popular and big as Puffy, he is also aware of what goes on behind the cameras and inside all the big and extravagant events that Diddy hosts. I mean, we have all heard the stories about how other celebs and artists are afraid to touch on the topics related to Puff Daddy. They know too well that P. Diddy is not someone that they would want to offend. Well, thanks to Snoop, as he got all the answers for most of our curiosity.
Do you think we'll ever have a gay rapper?
I believe there are some gay rappers that just ain't came out the closet.
Well, then we don't know that they're gay. Do you
Exactly.
think a big rap would have to be a big star to come out?
Again, this is not the first time that Diddy is under a lot of scrutiny, but these days people are more outspoken about the problematic things that happen behind closed doors, especially when it comes to Hollywood and the music industry. Tons of deep, dark secrets are yet to be revealed, and even though many big names have already been exposed, it was as if they are all untouchable by the law, including Diddy himself. Well, there are a lot of issues about him that need legal actions, but look at him right now, still free to throw red carpet-like parties just so he could get drunk with the other A-listers and get violent in the end. Not only is he organizing these big events to network, but this is his way of luring young talents to do inappropriate things for him as per his request. Diddy's behavior had gone way out of hand for a very long time now, but other celebs and artists still wanted to tolerate him and his horrific acts because they either want something from him or they already owe him. Nowadays, more and more rappers are getting aloof from Puffy and are afraid to associate themselves to him, especially when he is drunk, according to Snoop Dogg. Snoop is not new in Puffy's scene and wild parties. Both of them have been in the industry for a very long time, but they were on different sides before.
Snoop Dogg edition, nigga, the 70s style, boy. Hold this. I got you. Go ahead. Lock out on this.
Some of you might remember the East Coast-West Coast rap war in the 90s. Puff Daddy on the East Coast created a hip-hop empire through his record label Bad Boy Records. On the other hand, Suge Knight was the founder of Death Row Records for the West Coast. Obviously, Snoop was under Death Row Records, but he eventually left the company after Notorious B.I.G. and Tupac lost their lives because of the alleged war between both rap empires. You know what? Diddy was actually accused a couple of times for having something to do with the deaths of these huge names. I told you, Puffy is involved in a lot of controversies, and some of them are really dirty and shady accusations. As I have mentioned, Diddy's parties are sought after by tons of celebs in different industries. Being invited in one was an honor for some, especially for those who wanted to make it big in their careers. Saying that these parties are epic would be an understatement. Back then, many young talents believed that they had to be associated with the likes of Diddy to make it big as well, and to be able to make a name for themselves. But now, artists are being discovered in many different ways, so people like Puff are fortunately losing young boys that he could take advantage of. But even though people are more aware these days, it did not stop Puffy from using his power, influence, and money to use other people as well. Not only that, but considering that he is the one who organizes these chaotic but epic parties, he feels like he has the right to get violent and order people around. There were even incidents where he got mad at someone because he did not like what he was drinking. And do not even get me started about all the bodyguards that would randomly pull the trigger when some trouble is around Diddy. These scenarios might be common, but it does not mean that they should be tolerated as well. Knowing how extravagant these parties are, sources have revealed that Diddy spent millions of dollars just to make things possible. I mean, he really got a lot of money to throw around, huh? And for what? Just so he could satisfy his pleasure and desires. Apparently, all the drinks, food, glamour, and connections were not enough anymore to make rappers party with Diddy. It possibly got something to do with how Diddy behaves when he gets drunk. But not only that, because some of them are surely afraid that Diddy would force them to do something that they do not want to. Again, Diddy is related and speculated about a lot of things. One that might no longer surprise you is how other artists and fans are claiming that he is closeted and just does not want to admit that he is gay because the hip-hop community could be really harsh to those who do not identify as straight men. Gosh, it is just so cringy that this year there are still people who make a big deal out of these things. But before we get deeper into the video, if you want to know more about what people got to say about Puff Daddy, then make sure that you subscribe to our channel right away. I will always keep you posted about the latest happenings in their lives and more. Now, going back to the video. Diddy's sexuality is not the issue here. He could choose to hide it and not talk about it for as long as he wants. But it starts to be an issue when he uses young boys and other artists and rappers who are coming to him for his help to make music just so he could fulfill such sexual fantasies against their will. Some of you may argue that these people should never do it if they do not want to, especially that there are other ways right now to be popular. But in an industry like this, some people are above and have the power to make you into whoever you want to be with just a few calls. And we cannot blame these people if they are curious to know how Diddy would change their lives and careers. What we should be calling out are people like Diddy who continue to prey on people who just wanted to take a shot at this shady industry. Snoop Dogg is exposing Diddy for allegedly using every invitation to his parties to lure more rappers and young boys to mingle and be friends with him. What is more interesting is the fact that his former bodyguard has spoken about the things that Diddy did before.
The Rock said butt plugs. I said, hey, yo.
Oh, man.
I said, hey, yo. Fuck is you getting these for, man?
Since Gene had worked for Puffy for a very long time and accompanied him on most of his business and outings, this just goes to show that he has a lot of things against Diddy and knows so much about him as well. He even went on to say that Diddy had played around with boys before as well. Even though he had girlfriends, people are believing that he just used these women to cover up his real sexuality. Gene said, I know for a fact because I was right there. He said, yo, Gene, watch the door and don't let nobody come through. I said, I'll watch the door, and if I watched the door and he and a man ran out naked and I said that, ain't nobody told me that, I saw that myself. Gene even alleged Diddy of having something to do with B.I.G.'s death. Now, we know Jaguar right for exposing big names in the industry. She also revealed something about how Puffy takes advantage of other people. She stated, the door wasn't locked, so she didn't think twice about just walking in. When she walked in, she saw Christopher Williams performing fellatio on Puff. Jaguar continued to claim that Diddy wanted to be pleasured first before he considers the demo deal. Puffy allegedly stated, I'll do whatever the I want to do in my building. It's power, see? If I could make a man suck my I could make people do anything for money. What other rumors have you heard about Puffy? Let us know in the comments below. I bet that you also know about why Puffy was accused of grooming Usher as well. Oh boy, that story has been all over the internet, and for those of you who do not know, Usher lived with Diddy for 1 year when he was just 14 years old. As rumor has it, he made Usher do things that a teenager is not yet supposed to experience, like partying and drinking in clubs. It did not sit well with everybody who had seen Diddy's interview with Kevin Hart, where he claimed to be waking up with Usher in the same bed. That is just so wrong to hear and say. Snoop believes that if he keeps on doing this to other artists and continues to cause trouble in his own parties, then more rappers would not even want to be friends with him anymore. Snoop Dogg and Diddy are not enemies, as people are claiming that they actually grew closer and became friends in the past years. So Snoop exposing Diddy is just probably his way to help him sort his behavior and how he handles certain issues and situations. Well, there you have it. Is this something that Diddy could still change and make up for? Or would he forever think that he is above everyone else and continue to do things his way? Thank you for watching, and do not forget to subscribe to our channel, like this video, and click on the notification below to be updated whenever we have a new update. Until next time, stay tuned for more juicy gossip.